This is Arts and Crafts with Luba Carlson. We continue working in the art journal. In the previous episode, I showed you how to use watercolor to start making your own fodder. Fodder is little elements that we can create ourselves, or we can use, let's say, maybe magazines to cut out little elements that we can use in our art journaling. So in the previous episode, I showed you how to use watercolor and how to create hearts, some flowers, and some leaves. Now, before we cut them out, we probably would want to finish them a little bit, okay? So the first thing I want to do is I want to add centers to my flowers. You can always do this with watercolor. So if you still have your watercolor set next to you, you can just grab some browns or oranges or whatever colors you want and very carefully dab your paint into your flowers, into the centers. I just think that as a kind of a different exercise, it would be great to just color them in, not a big deal. So I'm just gonna go real fast and put in the centers. Just like that, so that's gonna be one. Oh, see what I did? I just blended into the wet watercolor. It's okay, we'll cut around it. Not a big deal. I'm gonna try and go for different colors for the centers so that it just shows. And I really like my centers going into my kind of leaves. Oh, how interesting. You can see my tablecloth is leaving some pattern. I don't know if you guys can see this, but oh my gosh, this is very pretty for the flower center. That works beautiful. I will use that every time. Oh, look at that. I just love this. Gorgeous. You never know when you can get texture, you know? Always interesting things happen, and maybe this one. See, I'm not overthinking. I'm just really grabbing pencils and going for it. Now I still have those centers in here, and those I'm just gonna make all the same so that they kind of match the theme, kind of what I'm gonna do with them. So they're all getting bright red in the middle. Whoop. And of course, having the textured tablecloth under, that really helps because that looks very good now. Okay. I guess I'm good with everything else. Now let's talk about some other supplies. Of course, one of the things I really like to use to outline our shapes is the ultrafine tip Sharpie. The other thing I really like using a white paint pen, which allows me to add little white marks if I want to add some highlights or some interesting elements in the flowers or in the leaves. I can use the white pen. And something I didn't bring, but if you have metallic watercolors, you can always do that. Or maybe you have a metallic pencil, like a gold pencil, that you would like to add some gold to your leaves. You can always do that. I am also gonna be using my permanent glue sticks. And I've got my scissors on the ready, and I think we can start. So this is how I like to outline all my shapes. I don't overthink it. I just go right into that color and go around it twice or sometimes 3 times just to give it an outline. That's it, okay? We do not need to make it look perfect. You know, when we make something look perfect, it kind of takes the interest from art, you know? When things are perfect, there is nothing to look for. It's all perfect already, so why spend time looking at that? So just as fast and kind of wiggly lines, just go all around your shapes. And sometimes if my blues are super dark. So I will allow my Sharpie go a little bit on the white around them to just create an interesting color, so to speak, so that they will stand out. Okay, stand out from the page so that they don't blend in too much. Just gives them a little bit of a highlight, so like unintentional, intentional highlight. Okay. Now with the dark flowers like this, the white is just exactly what we need. So let me finish this. I will outline them all first. Whoops, that was a 5 petals. Okay, there is a petal right here. I almost forgot that it was a 5-petal flower. Okay, and then for the leaves, that's kind of a little bit tricky because we want to leave some space. See how the stem is super, super thin, so it will be very hard to cut. So I'm leaving it a little bit of space, and then I'm just using kind of sketchy lines outlining those leaves. So I'm trying not to, again, overthink this too much. Okay, just like that. Just kind of give it some sort of outline. And also it gives you the shape to cut out. Okay, this one just going up and around. And then sometimes it's fun to add a spine for the leaf in here. I don't always do that. Well, most of the times I really don't do it. I think it makes it a little bit too dark. But if this is something that you would like to do, you absolutely can. Just keep going. And see, like this shape really did not look like a leaf a lot, but because I added the black outline around it, that's more shaped like a leaf. Now it resembles a leaf a lot more, a little bit better. Okay, here we go. I think I missed a couple of hearts. I'm gonna get back to them. Here we are. See, I'm doing these just the way I did the leaves. They look a little bit different from the other hearts, but they still look kind of in the same group, right? So you don't really have to go around them like I did over here. You can also do this. The idea is to kind of keep adding lines and going across, back and forth, and it will give you the look that you're looking for. Now, I just want to show you what the paint pen would do. Gotta shake it. Here's some scrap paper. Push it, make sure I got the ink. Okay, and now let's see, let's go into this one. That's the darkest one. So I can just go right around the petal. You see what it did? It kind of brightens the whole flower. And I can add little dots. Okay, so if you are considering purchasing something like that, I highly recommend a paint pen. Instead of, there's lots of white gel pens on the market, and they don't work nearly as well, okay? So if you're considering that, now do you have to add white to these? Not really, but maybe you want to. Now I'm gonna do this just to brighten that up a little bit. Isn't it fun? A little bit more here. Oh, what do I do here? Maybe I'll do a little swirl and just go around. I mean, that's a flower, right? And of course you can go like the hearts like this that doesn't have any highlights. This is where you can take your white pen and you can add your little highlight, just, you know, if you wish. Da, 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 something like that. Okay, now is kind of the longest part, and I don't think I'm gonna cut out all of them. I'll just cut maybe a half. So let's see, which side do I'm gonna just cut this in half. Okay, it's like deciding which part do I like best. I like this one best. So these can stay, I'll work on them later. And we are pretty much going to fussy cut all of these. So this is how I like to do it. I just do a rough cut for every shape. And then I can carefully cut them all out. Okay, here's my pile, here's my work. The best way that I found to do a lot of fodder like this is to maybe like turn on your favorite movie or something like that and paint a gazillion of pages, just like we just did one page here. Do 6, do 7 of those pages, do as many as you can handle, and let them dry, okay? Then next time you're watching something, bring your pencils, markers, white pens, whatever you want, decorate, yeah, add everything you want to add to your fodder. And then the third session, bring your scissors and just, you know, as you're watching something, cut them all out and put them in a box or in a Ziploc baggie or something, and you will have a whole huge stash of fodder that you can use in your work. They also look super pretty if like you will just put them like in a little bowl and just stack them up in a little bowl. They look cute. They are so cute. The more you have, the easier choices are, the more you have to choose from. And always use colors that you think that you wouldn't normally use, because you never know. You never know. Sometimes you just see something and it's, wow, where did that come from? See, this is what I meant about the leaves like that. That's kind of you kind of have to slow down a little bit, but it really helps to have those black lines around it because they allow you a little bit of room for error. Also, this is what I get for not bringing my smaller scissors. Maybe next time. Okay, couple more, almost done. All right, last one. Okay, so here are some things that we can use. And of course, if you have more, go ahead and cut them all out so that you can use them. And I'm gonna bring the journal in. Put this up here. Hold on, a little bit of reorganizing move this. Yep, so that we have our pages. And here's the thing, now you have to decide what you're going to do with them. Do you really have to decide right now? No? You can use them for something else. Or you can look at your previous page that I haven't finished it yet, but I will. And maybe see that maybe, oh boy, now I like this even more. Look at that. Okay, I need another flower for this, but that's okay. Like just an idea, and a heart sticking out from somewhere. And maybe up higher. It's just an idea, right? I didn't even plan on this. I didn't even think I was gonna do something like that. And just add some leaves. This is obviously a heart. Just using the things that we have, right? Oh, one leaf might go right here. It's kind of hard to hold it because it's, I mean, you can do that, right? Or you can do this, or you can not do that at all. So my plan for this page was just to create like a showcase for your little Fodder so that you have the idea right in your book. And so when you're wondering, what could I do? Like, I don't really want to make something fancy. And when you see this page, it will remind you that, hey, you can make some Fodder, okay? So similar to this, you don't have to organize it like that, but we can make a creative way of maybe organizing. And of course, it might look better if we had like a background down here, but we're just really trying to create a good piece of memory helper, I guess. That's what I would call it. And maybe one flower could go here. Maybe one flower could go right here. And that works. And then as we cut out more elements, maybe we could rearrange it in some other way. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue them on real, hopefully fast. Here we are. And we'll see if we get some other idea that we can do real quick, if we have the time. Okay, so this was like here. Okay, I already have the idea. I have an idea for the hearts that I'm gonna do that. I love that. And it's really not hard at all. Let's do, for that, I'm gonna move it a little bit out. You'll see why. Okay, don't be afraid to use your imagination. Here. Okay, let me see. This leaf goes in first. So that's the tricky part of kind of collaging and putting multiple layers of things, because you need to remember what goes in the background of your project and what goes next, right? So here, like the flower goes under the leaf, so the flower goes in first. Okay. And I always try to turn them a little bit kitty corner, especially if there's like a 4-petal flower, so it doesn't look like a square. Okay. This one was a little bit an overlap, I think, like that, kind of, sort of, maybe? Yeah, something like that. This is good. Okay, and then this sleeve. See, the more elements you cut out, the more things you have to play with. Okay, I think I'm gonna rearrange this one. I'm gonna put this one over here. It makes better sense to me. And here we go. Last one. The last one goes right in here. It's hard to decide. Okay. Now to my idea. I have an idea and it must happen. All right, so for the hearts, I'm gonna turn them into balloons. So I'm just gonna add those ends, right, that have ropes on them or whatever, string. And then maybe here. Just, just sketchy lines. It doesn't need to be anything super cool. Okay, and then all my strings are gonna come over here. It comes here, 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 and here. And then we're gonna we have pencils, so we're just gonna grab something not red, not purple, not teal, and not green. Good luck with that. How about blue? Oh, my favorite, teal. No, we have teal. Never mind. Sorry. How about this one? It works. And then I'm just gonna do a bow. Okay. A little bit more color on the top. Has four. You do 4 and then you color them in so that you have a ribbon. Do we have time? Yes, we have. Oh, wonderful. And then things that I really like doing, and I am doing that, adding words, adding affirmations, adding things that make you happy. So when I look at balloons like that, I just want to go here. Oh, there's something. Move up a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to write something here that made it into my head right now. So you know what came to my head? That song, Oh Happy Day. And it just came. And so that's why it's going right here. You can, whatever. I do hand lettering, so I really love doing these things in my journal. Stuff like that. You can write with a pencil, with a Sharpie, with a marker. You can get a transfer. You can type it up and just glue it on. Whatever makes you happy. Okay, I really like this color. So guess what? This is what we're doing. Just to add some color to what I have here. And look, all you needed was a little bit of fodder, right? Some coloring pencils, maybe a Sharpie, and you can just create a nice and bright page. Something like that, okay? And then for the flowers, they're kind of lonely a little bit. So I will think about that. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. But I don't like that this flower is just like kind of floating in the air. It definitely needs a stem. So I'm staying with my ultrafine Sharpie and I'm just gonna add just a little stem and it's gonna show through here and that's fine. And this flower has a little stem maybe coming through here. So it really doesn't need to show. It's kind of right here, okay? And I don't really know what I'm gonna do with this page just yet. And it's okay. It's a good start, right? So if you're enjoying working with these, just keep creating other things, keep working on that. And in the future, I'm going to bring more acrylics, layering, more texture, more different materials for us to explore. We will fill up this baby and it will become a beautiful book. Until next time, I'll see you later.